Happy Camper Radio.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. Episode 214. And on the show today, we have a very special guest going to talk to you about a new app that everybody in the camping business, everybody who goes camping should have. It's a great interview all lined up for you. Daniel's in the studio. Woo! Daniel just had lunch. I had lunch. Wow. I tell you what, we always talk about good food. We're going to have to do a show on that sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And we're going to have a great show for you today, so stick around for it. It's Happy Camper Radio episode 214 coming in your ear right now.
Happy Camper Radio.
And the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store and Podbean, Myra Guide, Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, and, of course, on Spotify. Tell all your friends to tune into Happy Camper Radio today. I think Daniel's looking up one of those on his phone right now. He always has that phone in front of him.
I'm doing research, Skip. I'm always researching.
You're researching and talking.
I'm the show researcher.
Okay.
Actually, funny you say that. I'm actually texting between me and Rose. I'm trying to figure out how I can get a job at the national parks after I retire from the post office. And she's sending me these long text messages about what to do and where to go. And
this is Rose, who we had on the show here about a week or so
I'm
ago.
just responding back to her. So it's show related. I'm just saying, Skip.
Okay.
I'm not playing, I don't know, a game or something.
I have all the trust in the world that after you do retire, when you retire, okay, that you will do something in the line of camping.
Oh, yes.
Something with outdoors. You know, I know
Definitely.
you and your wife are really into the outdoors.
But, I want more.
Okay. Yeah, have at it, Daniel. You know, when you retire, you got all the time in the world to think about what you want to do next.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Camping.
But anyway, you can get in touch with us here at the Happy Camper Radio Show by calling 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, you can catch us online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Daniel, we had an awesome time this past weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about this new movie. All right, before we even get to that,
okay,
tell us about this movie that I knew nothing about, but you were all psyched up and pumped up about it. It just came out the day before we had this viewing in your backyard.
My wife Deidre, she's a big Black Widow fan, and this movie, the new Black Widow movie, has been teased for years, literally at a time, and it finally came out. We spent the $30 on Disney, and so we decided, we could bring some friends over, have a screen in the backyard, and have a screening. And Skip, the tech guy, he has all the audio equipment, so we set up the screen in the backyard, and we watched the movie.
Yes, the big 20-foot outdoor movie screen.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
And it didn't take long to set up. A couple of technical glitches there at first, but we were able to get through that.
We'll figure it out.
But unfortunately, just like Skip, when he goes camping, anytime he does something outdoors, yes.
Literally halfway through the movie.
The rain got us, hit us like you wouldn't believe.
Like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, and it didn't matter that I brought a canopy over to cover the equipment.
That was smart, though.
It was smart, but it was the intention, but it really didn't do much good.
Yeah.
And it happens every single time.
You need to go. Daniel. I was thinking about this. You need to go out west where there's a drought. You need to bring the Skip rain vibe out there so they can get some rain. Because all it does over here is rain.
Daniel,
it's either raining or cloudy, so you never know.
It will follow me, and
you need to go out west. Then you need to go to California. They should pay you just to be there, to be the rain god. Skip the rain god.
Everything was fine. And then when the rain come down, you had some nice guests there. I never really got to meet everybody, but you all didn't have a choice at that particular point. You all went inside, and I had to take the electronics more important than anything. That projector, which I spent a fortune on when I bought it, and it does a beautiful job of projecting the on the big 20-foot screen. Mm-hmm. I had to get that out of the rain real quick, as well as the audio equipment.
Yeah, we were on it though. because you had the canopy like right behind, and when the rain started, whoop, right over it. So we were good. We weren't sure, like it was sprinkling for a little while. We're like, oh, okay, maybe. And then the bottom just fell out, and we're like, ugh.
Well, Daniel,
I'm
going to tell you this: one of these days, and you know, I don't care as long as it's outdoors. You know, it's going to be a problem with me. But one of these days, I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to actually get through the day or get through the night, and when it's all said and done, before I call it the evening, I'm going to look up in the sky with the meanest, ugliest face I can put on, and I'm going to shake my fist at the rain goddess and say, yeah, got you this time. Yeah, I don't have to take everything in and dry it out the next day. And that's a chore in itself.
Yeah, that was a pain.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, we've got a very special guest on our program today.
Yep.
His name is Terry Browsard, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Spot Tonight. We're going to get him on the phone right now.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And joining us today on the Happy Camper Radio Show is Terry Browsard, CEO and co-founder of Spot Tonight. Terry, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Skip. I appreciate it. It's a great opportunity to chat today about Spot Tonight.
Well, great. We got a lot to talk about. This is a product that I know everybody who is into camping would want on their smartphone. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Spot Tonight, how it all got started, and what you have to offer to campers?
Certainly, I'd be glad to. So I'm a 4-time RV traveler myself, retired Air Force guy, and interestingly enough, a retired nurse. And literally, my son-in-law and I were standing on the side of the camper about 18 months ago in Louisiana, and he said, let's go somewhere. And I said, when? He said, tonight. And I said, okay, no problem. You know, the refrigerator's cold, the food's loaded. Here's my phone, and I've got about 5 pages of apps. Go through that and find a place in South Louisiana during football season on a Friday night when it's about 65 degrees out, and I'll be glad to drive you there right now. And he said, you got to be kidding. It can't be that hard. I said, it is. He says, there's not a single note. There's not a single place to look. And that began our research and development into the other side of the camping world, which in industry, and that's the reservations. And that led us to leading campground systems and coming up with going from Scratchpad and sticky notes to the app that is launched.
Wow. You know, I sit back and I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking about all the years that and believe me, I'm up here in my years myself. I'm not like Daniel, who is, you know, like he's a kid compared to me.
Right out of high school last year.
Yeah, really. But, you know, I can think about all the times that I have gone camping, and, you know, and I've always said this on the show, anytime that you're traveling more than 100 miles away from home, I believe that's what I would consider to be a long distance camping trip. And I can remember the countless times when I had to go buy magazines, I had to look up places. And I mean, I've been camping long before computers and the internets, even before pagers were around. All right. And yeah, I remember back in those days what it was like to try to find a spot to go camping. And I mean, now we're into the twilight age. I mean, we got so many things that available, and this is an awesome thing, an awesome app that you offer to campers.
Well, we think so. And again, it's a free app, free to download on both the Apple and the Google Play Store. And the way we got into this again is we literally got tired of playing Google RV Parks Near Me and spending hours trying to find a park. And so once we discovered that these booking systems were kind of somewhat open to discussion about moving into this next generation of an app, and in Pure Honest Brokers, we always call ourselves Switzerland of the booking industry. So we're neutral to all of them. We respect privacy. We respect their customer list. And then we still have to approach and market to the parks. And once we got up and running and we launched our first app and we got our first reservation and it worked, and it's just a great thing that once the traveler builds their profile out and tells us all about their vehicle and what size of space they need and how many amps and so forth, you can literally book in about 6 to 8 clicks on our app. It's just that easy.
I have a question. Does the price vary based on how far out you reserve a spot? So it's called Spot Tonight. So like I understand you're more towards like last minute. Well, I mean, that's what it sounds like. But does it matter if so 2 weeks from now I want a spot, I book it now, or does it matter if I book it the day before or a couple hours before? Like hotels and airlines, they always change their prices.
No, we don't. We don't control the prices.
Okay.
It comes from the park. So in the parks, we do honor their dynamic pricing. And while we call it Spot Tonight, that was simply because my son-in-law and I literally were looking for a spot tonight. And so it just stuck with us. But we go as far forward on the calendar that the booking system does. So if the 4th of July for next year is already open up on your favorite beachside resort, it would be available in the app if they're a connected park. And whatever the price that they charge flows through the app. And there's no secret. We do charge a small convenience fee for the use of the app, and that averages on $3 to $5 per night for the booking, and that caps at $20. And so we felt like that was reasonable for, a high-end booking that someone was, just really was trying to get and find in our technology spots and finds it. I'll be honest with you, it's our model that in our business plan that eventually goes away as users come on and advertising and whatnot kicks in, because it's just a very reasonable price for the amount of coding and the work and the research that we do. Mm-hmm. But I think that answered your question probably a long way.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about this ambassador program y'all got going on? What's the deal with that?
Absolutely. We know every day that there are travelers that are sitting in parks that could be connected to us because they're on a system. And most front desk folks would know the booking system that they're using. And so right there on the face of our app, down along the bottom, we have those connected systems that we've already hardwired our connection. And those right now include RMS Cloud, Checkfront, NewBook. Actually, we're getting ready to turn on the NewBook, and then we'll be developing and doing our work for the ResNexus family of parks. So as you travel about as an ambassador, if you say, hey, I saw you're using this logo, is this one of your booking systems? And you chat them up and show them the app, and the park managers connect with us and we connect the park, we'll give you a $50 travel credit in the app. We have that ability to code that in now to where we can pass a coupon to you and you get a travel credit.
Okay, now I'm thinking here. Now Daniel, he's the RV type guy. I'm the primitive camper type guy. Yeah, you're a pop-up guy.
Halfway.
That's his new nickname now.
Pop-up Daniel. That's what they call me.
Yeah, but let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and get myself an RV, which I'm thinking about that now that I'm officially retired. But if I'm deciding I want to go somewhere at the last minute, is there a variety of campgrounds available through your app, or are people still, or should I say, campgrounds still coming aboard, or should I be able to look onto your app and find a very good variety?
Right. So I think that you can go through and tell us what kind of park you're looking for, and then what your destination is. Like for instance, over the 4th of July. People were saying, they can't find the spot. And I think it just depends on what area they're looking for or if they're traveling. Because our app, we will go down, the system will show, even if they only have one spot left. In fact, I've had many park owners that say, I don't know if that app would be good for us because we generally full. I said, are you 100% full? Well, sometimes we have one or two spots up. I said, then I want you. Because our travelers may need that one or two spots, and that would put you at 100%. And so for them, it doesn't cost them anything to be in the app. We do all of this development, coding, and presentation. We build the park in the app. It's not like they have to set up with some of these other systems where they have to do all the construction. We do all of that. And so you get the RV skip. You pull the app out. You tell us that you've got a travel trailer, 25 feet, 30 amps, and you like to go fishing. You put that on there and you point it in some direction, and it will start hunting for you for a spot for the weekend that you're looking for.
That sounds good. I really believe that, a lot of people who are into camping, and serious camping, probably would make their 4th of July reservations many months ahead. because just about every park that you can think of, at least the popular ones we have nearby us, Stone Mountain Park, you can't even get in the park on the 4th of July. I mean, you just have
Right.
lines and lines of people. I mean, I think that a lot of travelers are smart enough that when you got the 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend, those are the times the parks are going to really book up. So it's probably wise to go ahead and make your reservation as early as you possibly can.
Yeah, and what happens a lot of times, what I've discovered is a lot of people will book way far out, and then they'll set a calendar reminder if there's a no-fee cancellation for, say, T-minus 30 days, and then they'll say, oh, we can't use it, and then they release that. And so that is ideal capture for us in the app, because then suddenly you have that 4th of July date that shows up immediately in the app as available. And when you're looking, you may be the lucky one to grab that spot. Clearly, like you said, we're already seeing bookings for Thanksgiving in the app in different resort areas. The holidays are open up. But like most parks, Monday through Thursday night, there's a lot of vacancy out there. So if you have some flexibility and can travel, then that's the time to look. And while I talk about that, I would also share that if the campground honors any discounts on their website and they wish to pass that through to the app, it will pass through and your pricing is reflected with that discount that they offer at the park. Because again, it's not Spot Tonight's price, it is the park's price to pass through to you.
Well, you're talking to two guys right now that are always looking for discounts. Daniel more than I am. But,
So I got a question. Have you teamed with any states and state parks, or is that a whole different separate thing? Is it just camping resorts?
You're spot on, Daniel. We are actually looking at that right now on our growth chart, and of course we are right here in Louisiana. And it's all about Louisiana State Parks over here. We've had some discussions with them. It is a bit of a different connection system because the one they were using is not one of the, like one of the big four that we have already integrated with. So each one of those is a special integration. And it is definitely something that we're interested in doing. There's a huge community of travelers that are faithful and loyal to just state parks, and the same for national parks. That would also apply. And we're looking at some discussions with that particular integration as well.
Have you talked to anyone else, like Coast to Coast or Sam's or like one of these big chains to try to get a deal with them and everything?
Try to get on. We're always looking at integrations such as like KOA, that's on our list as well, and individual big groups. We have about 14 different resort groups that are connected to us right now. And of course, those are groups that see the value of basically right up front advertising, right? In other words, as soon as you click on and see their resort, that's a free impression that they got, that they didn't have to do anything, they didn't have to do any work, and they were using a system that we were ready to connect to. And so we literally, in fact, we also just signed a park in Alaska. So I think we have 2 parks up in Alaska, all the way down to almost to Key West, as our group grows. So right now we're close to 15,000 bookable spots in the app across the country. It was interesting to look at our growth map it kind of grew along Interstate 10 as the country was frozen during the winter. A lot of the northern parks were closed. But I'm happy to report we have resorts all up in the Northeast now. We have them up in Maine. We have them out all around the lakes, the Great Lakes there. The Midwest has a few out there. Utah, our first park ever is out there in Helper, Utah, and that is Castle Gate RV Park, a great park. It's on my list to go and visit my friend Tom over there. He was park number 1. And he's always going to be park number 1 for us.
Okay, one more question. Sorry, Skip. So what about all these people? Like I'm on TikTok. Like I said, I just graduated from high school. So there's all these people that like after college and stuff, they want to do the van life and everything. And I know it's not quite RVs, but there's a lot of like spots that people can take their, transit van or whatever and be overnight. Have y'all ever thought about getting into that kind of venue? Like to show them, hey, this is a good place to go. Like put in, hey, I'm just, I live in my transit van. Where can I stop tonight? Just so they know.
Right.
Have you gotten into that at all?
We looked at a lot of different avenues and a lot of different apps that are currently on the market. There are some very robust apps that do that for what I would say off-grid, if that's what you're talking about, or disconnected camping. And our target for this particular first leg out was the 6,500 roughly commercial parks in America.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt that there were many of these that were recognize the value of the free advertising model, recognize the need to fill their Monday through Friday, bookings, and then any extra spots on the weekends, and would be keen on the idea of Spot Tonight and a huge traveler base.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, this sounds like it's something that, if anybody that has an RV and anybody that enjoys traveling and anybody that enjoys camping would want to have. And it's something they should be able to download on their app. And you can find this in the App Store. Is that correct, Terry?
That's correct. We're in the Apple Store. We've been there since February. We launched the Android version in May. And so they have been extremely well received. We had a lot of feedback from travelers on our initial releases on presentation. It was so helpful to give us some tips and tricks. And, they saw a few bugs here. They were so grateful. A very, very encouraging traveler base. They came back and said, we've needed this for a long time. You guys are right on it. I know the parks will grow as the travelers come in. And so we're always looking to connect parks. And so that's really, like you said, why we rolled out the ambassador program. But it's a great app. I want everybody to try it. You can literally preload your vehicle, and you can share. I forgot to mention that. Daniel, you were talking about that earlier. You can find a park and hit the share button and send it to your traveling groups, and they will see the exact park that you're looking at in the app.
Okay.
And so it's extremely accurate and detailed, because, you'd be surprised how many Gulf Coast RV parks there are along Florida.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and to learn
By that name.
And also to learn a little bit more, if you don't have your phone handy like Daniel always does. He
I'm
sits
looking
here.
for a
He
park
sits here in
right
the
now.
studio, Terry, and I don't know. He's sitting directly across from me.
I'm looking for a park right now in Myrtle Beach on your website.
Oh, you'll be excited to know we've got a couple in the hopper to
I
connect
see.
over there on Myrtle Beach. Yes, we do. We've been well received by that group, and so there's some that are waiting on that next connection. They're with that the next big system integration, and so we'll be bringing those guys on.
Well, for certain, if Daniel books a spot down in Myrtle Beach or wherever he's looking at right now and books it through Spot Tonight, we will probably do a remote broadcast, me in the studio, him at the campground, and
go.
we'll definitely talk up Spot Tonight for sure. Terry, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being here on the show. It's great talking to you. This is a great app. I'm really looking forward to hearing from our listeners and their experiences with it as well.
Well, thank you both so much for the opportunity to talk about Spot Tonight. It's truly something we have a passion for, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the app. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Well, Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah. I was on the site the whole time we were talking to him. I was looking up places to go, making plans in my head. I was ready to go.
You actually downloaded the app while you were talking to him, weren't you?
No, I had the app. I think the day you texted me about having him on the show, I downloaded the app and I was thinking of all the places I wanted to go and seeing all the campgrounds in the area. So yeah, I was pretty excited about that interview.
Yeah, well, it was great having Terry on the program, and definitely, folks, if you get an opportunity, and you got your phone in your hand right now while you're listening to Happy Camper Radio, go to the App Store. It's Spot Tonight. That's SPOT, the number 2, NITE. And of course, you can go to spottonight.com and get all the information there as well. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
Daniel Daniel, let's
Yeah.
go out west since you're already
Yes.
talking about it.
I love the
You
West.
want to go out west?
West
You
is
say
the best.
where there's a drought and they need some rain. Do
Yeah.
you think they need any rain in Nevada?
Oh, yeah. Nevada.
Nevada.
You know, it's Nevada. Trust me, Skip. You're
Okay,
going to get a lot of
I'm
our
going to look in
listeners
the dictionary and make
Nevada.
sure. I'm going to make
A
sure
lot of-
I'm pronouncing it
look,
right, and I will stand corrected.
Look,
Okay.
Nevada.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to go to Nevada, and I'm going to,
Trust me, Skip.
Okay, I'm going to trust you this time.
I'm telling
We're
you.
going to the Ward Mountain Campground. It is our featured campground of the week here on Happy Camper Radio. Ward Mountain Recreation Area and Campground sits in the shadows of its namesake just 10 miles southwest from the city of Ely in eastern Nevada. It sits at an elevation of 7,400 feet. You ever been up that high before, Daniel?
I have.
Oh, yeah. I remember going out to Colorado.
They got that
Mile High
oxygen in the
City,
cities.
yeah.
You can get some oxygen.
Yeah,
Get that
I probably
sweet
would need
oxygen.
some oxygen out there if it were me. Maybe not everybody else, but many trails are available for hiking, mountain biking, and horseback riding. The campground offers single-family campsites with 3 large group sites that can accommodate up to 100 or more people. I thought about maybe a family reunion camp out
There you
sometime.
go.
And if you have that in mind and you got a lot of folks in your family that like to go camping, hey, keep this in mind. Multiple access points for trails are found throughout the campground, with a main trailhead located on the easternmost side. All campsites are equipped with picnic tables, fire rings, grills, vault toilets, drinking water, and trash collections are provided, but there's no electricity, Daniel.
Uh-oh, get that
so if you're-
generator.
Yeah, if you're taking generator, but you might want to go ahead and check out the site here and see if there's any restrictions on that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that
Get
do
them
have some
solar
of those.
panels.
Some of those quiet generators will probably be okay.
Yeah.
But like I say, you have to actually go to the website and find out. They do have a campground host on site. And speaking of their website, we're going to have it on our website all week long at happycamperradio.com. Just click on the featured campground button, and it'll come right up there. It's a Ward Mountain Campground. And if you don't already have a recreation.gov account, you might want to go ahead and sign up for one right at this particular time. Look for that little blue button in the upper right-hand corner, and it says sign up. It doesn't cost you any money to do that. You get yourself a recreation.gov account at any time you're making a reservation at a recreation.gov campground. It's really useful to have that recreation.gov account. I've got one. I don't know if you have one, Daniel, but I tell you what, I'm going to put mine to work again real soon. But if you happen to be out in Nevada, is that how it's pronounced,
Nevada.
Daniel? Nevada, okay.
There you go.
Check out Ward Mountain Campground. It is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
HappyCamperRadio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. Be sure to include a link to the campground website. And Daniel, that's going to wrap up today's show
All right.
of the Happy Camper Radio. And you know what? Even though we had a great lunch, let's talk about some of our favorite meals on our next episode, okay?
Oh, I've got plans.
I've got plenty, and I know you do too.
Oh,
We
yes,
probably are
definitely.
not going to agree on a lot of things, but hey, camping we do agree on.
There
and
you
I think
go.
just about everybody else does. Anyway, you can get in touch with us here at the Happy Camper Radio Show anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just find us on the web, www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. Add us to Circles. No, we don't add to Circles no more.
Nope. No more Google.
No more Circles. I don't know why I keep throwing
more
that in
Google.
there. Anyway, you can
Aw.
subscribe to our YouTube channel. Anyway, we'll be talking to you again real soon. Skip and Daniel from the Happy Camper Radio Show. Always a pleasure to have you aboard. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.